Peace, family. Welcome to another episode, Underground Railroad Productions. This is your host, Rich, and I am joined once again with the living legend himself, Professor Griff. Man, welcome back, brother.
It's a pleasure to be back, Brother Rich. And how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I interviewed you last week, but I really couldn't talk to you because you was going through the storm and everything. But I'm glad to have you back fully for the show, man. I got you back for a full show today, Professor Griff.
Oh,
so
good.
I'm happy. Yeah, the people who haven't had you back for a full show in a while, man. So, like I said, so much happened. The hurricane, the after effects of the hurricane in Atlanta. We know you recently got married. The pictures was absolutely awesome. It looked like something from the movie Coming to America. Yeah, man. You look like King Joffrey, brother. You look like King Joffrey, man. So, it don't really reach our psyche unless we see it. So us seeing it was very important for our psyche. It was very important for our psyche, man.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you. Yeah. I want to thank you and Soleil for doing your thing, man. That was dope right there.
Oh, there's so many people say it's really good and it's really needed for young brothers and sisters. And even, some of our peers say that's really good for us as a people. We need to see happy, striving couples that are conscious, that are martial artists, that are recording artists, that are artists in general, both being parents. You understand what I'm saying? And then bringing families together to move forward and just demonstrating that and showing that. You would have thought reality shows and other people would be flocking to it to say, okay, we need to have that shown. We need young people to see that so we can stop the hatred and the killing and the jealousy and the envy and a lot of stuff that go on social media. You would think people would be, praising the fact that there's a positive couple out there striving and trying to do things that's on that vibration and on that vibrational tip. You understand what I'm saying? But it's a struggle within in itself. You understand what I'm saying? I just did my show last night asking people to take the footage down of some people that was at the ceremony that filmed it. That's personal. Right. That's personal, man. You don't do that. That's like me coming to the hospital room where your wife is having her baby and me filming it and putting it on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I ask the people to take it down. I just ask them to respect our privacy in that way. You're talking about two people that's already in the public eye, but yet, there's some things that are really personal to us and what we had to say before our Creator, before the elders, and before the people we invited. That's personal to us. But it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful ceremony of us. We call it our divine union, us coming together. And like I always say, souls that attract souls that are like mine. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing that two souls can come together, two people can come together to bring about and become one, and then become and get in sync with the natural rotation of the universe, and then connect with where our people are, move and advance our people forward with the work that we have to do.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful thing, and I really appreciate, especially King Simon and Black Dot coming all the way from New York, man. That was beautiful. And people coming from the Carolinas, up from Florida and other places. It was really beautiful, man. I had some brothers and sisters coming from St. Louis and just in and of itself. And then the beautiful thing about it, Maria Cambone and Ray Higgins got together to offer that ma'atic balance. And as we know, as we all should know, ma'at is truth, balance, justice, and reciprocity. So rather than one person officiating it, we had both of them do it to offer the balance. Definitely, it was a beautiful thing, man. So,
indeed,
yeah. It was very unique and very different. People keep asking us, I saw the pictures, man. What kind of wedding was it? What kind of ceremony? we just tell people, man, it was African, it was Indian, it was Kemetic, it was Islamic because the FOI there, the belly dancers were there, and it was also hood. You understand? So yeah, man. It was beautiful, though. Yeah, definitely beautiful.
Definitely, man. So, once again, congratulations, man. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely inspiring. So, congratulations to you and
Soleil.
And I want to start the show, Professor Griff. Griff, in the I guess it was the late '90s. I remember a Wu-Tang Clan song. It was called Cream, CREAM, and it was an acronym, and it meant cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bill, y'all. And it's like in our culture, Professor Griff, they call it the bag. You got to do what you got to do to get that bag, Professor Griff. They say you got to secure the bag. So, Griff, you got to do what you got to do to secure the bag for you and Soleil. That's what they'll say. You got to do what you got to do, brother. So a lot of people do what they got to do to secure the bag for them and their family. So many things are happening right now where people are actually turning down money right now, Professor Griff. We have an instance with Colin Kaepernick. Once you live a certain lifestyle, you don't want to go back to your previous lifestyle. So anybody who has made a certain amount of money, the last thing they want to do, if you make $60,000 a year, the last thing you want to do is go back to making $30,000. It seems like you're going back to hell. And that continues no matter how high you get up on the food chain. So when a brother like Colin Kaepernick sacrifices what he has, sacrifices millions, jeopardizes his money because he wants to protest a worthy cause, we got to commend him for that. We got to honor him for that. And we got to be thankful that somebody will put their millions on the line for that. And because of what he did, Professor Griff, he's out of a job to this day. And no team has picked him up, despite there being a lack of quarterbacks in the league. No team has picked him up because, you know why? They want to send a message for anybody who may have that same message as Colin Kaepernick. Recently, Professor Griff, there's reports on the internet all over right now, whether it's a sports channel, whether it's hip-hop channels, about Jay-Z turning down a Super Bowl halftime show. It got to the point where even the NFL responded. Their response was very vague, but nonetheless, if it wasn't real at all, I don't think they would have responded. This is a billion-dollar corporation. For some reason, they felt the need to respond to this. So people are saying Jay-Z turned down a Super Bowl performance, Griff, and it's kind of a big deal in the fact that you just don't turn down a Super Bowl performance because it's the most watched show on the face of the earth throughout the course of a year, and that could catapult your career no matter how big you are to astronomical levels. So for somebody to say, I'm good, go, that's like, whoa, like, who the hell are you to turn us down? But it seems as though some people are turning down money now because of integrity, because they have morals, or because they see a bigger picture. Griff, I need you to talk to me and talk to the people. Some people may not see life that way. There may be some drug dealers listening to the show right now, Griff, who say, you know what, I got to secure the bag for my family. And me doing what I'm doing, my daughter's in private school. She's getting a great education, and she's on her way to being a lawyer. So I don't see what I'm doing as being wrong. And a lot of people don't see that, Griff. Talk to me, Griff, about the concept of turning down money in a capitalistic system. Because it seems like, I want to use Jay-Z as an example because he's so famous and the Super Bowl is such a big event. And to do that, it's like, wow. Talk to me about that concept, Professor Griff.
There's so much in what you just asked. I think that people need to know, first of all, number one, let's deal with the NFL getting politicized.
Right.
When did the NFL become so political to the point where they're gonna fight this fight back on a political level? I thought if you met the qualifications to be in the NFL, then you should be primed. You understand what I'm saying? All you have to do is meet the qualifications. Right, but I think it now you have to meet the political qualifications. A minute ago, they always centered a story around, this guy came right out of college into the NFL, right out of college, or right out of high school into the NBA, and that was a big thing. What about your college education and this, that, and the other? Now it's like every player is going to be held accountable for their religious beliefs, or their political affiliation now. Everyone's going to be judged. And we have to. And Stephen A. Smith did something with his cooling behind that I didn't think he would even do. He went and dug up the history of protests in the NFL. He went and dug up the history of saluting and putting your hand over your heart and singing the national anthem. He said that the actual football players stayed in the locker room when the national anthem was being sung. Up until a certain point. But they saw that it was very political to get people into the game and show patriotism. This is why they brought the players out on the field to put their hands over their hearts while the national anthem was being played. It was a political move. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
they said we have the right to protest, but yet when he protests, they punish him for it. So I didn't know the NFL was that political. That's number one. Number two, who is it that's offering the drug dealer money to send his daughter to school to get an education to become a lawyer so that she can ultimately get him out of jail or defend him? That's an oxymoron, more so than an oxymoron. It's moronic, period.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's number two. Number three, if Jay-Z, a millionaire, Colin Kaepernick, a millionaire, turned down certain kind of opportunities, let's just focus on Jay-Z, a millionaire, $500 million worth, turns down an opportunity to be on someone's TV or to be on the most watched program this year, but you're already a millionaire. What does that actually mean? Most millionaires that we know that are white don't want to be on TV. Warren Buffett and some other people, right or wrong?
Right.
So now is Jay-Z, after he put out the story of O.J. becoming political, after he was accused of being anti-Semitic, now becoming political, striking back in his own subtle kind of way, basically giving them proverbial hip-hop middle finger? So is he saying to the NFL, nah, I'm going to stick with and support Colin Kaepernick? So there was talk about this dynamic duo, him and Justin Timberlake, doing the Super Bowl together. It's black and white like ebony and ivory, as another political move by the NFL to show solidarity to bring white and black people together.
Right.
They were going to do that to tote the line.
Right.
Look at what we're doing politically. We're bringing races together. We have a white entertainer who's popular and Jay-Z who's a black entertainer. We're going to bring them together for the most watched sports show this year. And we're going to have them perform together. Wow. Until he turned it down. Now they say they're looking for her. Is their language. Or we're looking for him. Or we're looking for they. See, they can't take it. They don't know how to respond. And by turning it down, they got to save face because they don't want any other artist to get the same thought in mind. And then the language is now we got to find someone that can top Lady Gaga.
It was weak.
Lady Gaga, who was she performing for? Because it was garbage. It was pure garbage. You understand? What they're trying to do is look for someone that's safe, that's going to tote the line and continue the agenda, so to speak. That's just my take on that first question. There was a whole lot of question, and I hope I answered some aspects of it beyond the headlines. This is why we do these interviews. We have to talk deeper and beyond the headlines. We have to overstand, as Phil Valentine said, and of course we have to understand, as Phil Valentine said, but most of all, we have to understand. You understand what I'm saying? We have to look at the inner workings of what's going on in hip-hop, in the music industry. How does that relate and turn over to the point where the NFL respects these artists, to the point where now these two worlds collide, hip-hop and sports, music and sports. And how do they make it work? You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't want another Beyonce performance politicizing people, the average person. You and I are already politicized, already conscious. They don't want the average person conscious. And that a Jay-Z can do. That a Beyonce can do. You should see how some of these elders kicked up dust after they viewed and listened to Jay-Z's album and watched his video, The Story of O.J. They didn't know how to handle that. Right. Because they actually thought racism was dead. Until you see 200 tiki torch, khaki wearing white boys walking through Virginia, Charlottesville, holding torches and chanting they hate Jews and hate blacks and hate niggas. They don't want that. They don't want the average person politicized. So they might just stand up and do something about the next murder of a black man in any city.
Griff, earlier in the week or 2 weeks ago, ESPN commentator by the name of Jamel Hill, a sister named Jamel Hill, she has a show with Michael Smith. I forget the exact name of the show. I'm trying to think. I forget the exact name, but she made some comments on her Twitter account about Donald Trump and about white supremacy and got a lot of backlash for it. I guess she got in some trouble, and ESPN had to respond to the public, telling them that, you know, her views are her views, it's not their views, or whatever. And people started going off, and they was upset that, you know, she got in trouble. But what I want to talk to you about, Griff, is that I want to personalize it a little bit, and maybe I might get a different perspective, or maybe we might see it differently, or maybe we might see it even more clearly as what we see it now. But what I want to do, I just want to offer a different perspective on this situation. Griff, let's say you have a company, Griff, and you know you have a company where you do martial arts, and you have a brother who's an assistant of yours. This individual happens to be of Asian descent, so he's not, you know, what people might say is African American or black. He's of Asian descent. He's great at what he does. He helps you to the best of his ability. His martial arts is superb. He's excellent with it. The brother goes on his Instagram or Twitter account and makes comments about Barack Obama, saying that he doesn't like Barack Obama. He feels like Barack Obama is not a fair president to everybody. Griff, do you get angry at this individual for his personal Twitter, Instagram account? Or do you say, this individual works for me, he does his job to the best of his ability, that's his personal opinion, and I'm not going to get upset at his personal opinion? How would you personally respond to a situation like that, Professor Griff?
If that gentleman worked for me, and that gentleman is representing my company at the time that he made these particular comments, whether it was on his personal page or wherever it was, if you're on my time, on my clock, with my company and my brand, that's not why I hired you. If I would have hired you to do something personal, then we should discuss that. And let's strategize if that's what you're going to do. But no, not with my company. My company doesn't represent that. My company represents martial artists.
So ESPN wasn't wrong for maybe disciplining Jamel Hill, you think?
The ESPN was not wrong. No, not at all. If she's on the clock, you understand what I'm saying? Her personal opinion about the POTUS, President of the United States, Donald Trump, Congressman, a senator, if that's her personal opinion, then she needs to do it on her own time. But let's look at it a lot deeper, Brother Rich. When do you have your own time when you work for ESPN? You get off work at 5 o'clock, 5:02, you put a post up. Is that personal time or is that ESPN? Or when you sign on to ESPN, are you on the clock all the time? So now everything that you do is on ESPN's time. That's what it seems like. Because you said her personal Twitter page. Of course she didn't do it on ESPN's Twitter page. She did it on her own. That's her personal view of a racist president. That's a lot of people's view. But you're doing it on the clock. You understand what I'm saying? Personal incident. I hired Uber. They came to pick me up, right? I don't like mumble rap. None of it. The vibration of it, none of it. I'm never in the mood for it. I tolerate it sometimes, but I don't like it. I get in the car, the chick is playing some mumble rap. I tapped her on the shoulder and asked her nice and politely, "Can you turn it down?" That's her car. That's her personal vehicle. That's her radio. That's her music. That's what she wants to listen to. But you on the clock, right or wrong.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when I get in your car, I'm your responsibility. Whether you have an accident, whether you smoking weed, whether you pull a gun, you want to stop and rob somebody, whether you got to get gas or whatever, I'm that person's responsibility. Am I right or wrong? Mm-hmm. If we get into an accident, her insurance got to cover me, right or wrong?
Yep.
So, okay, that's just it on a personal level. If the president, let's flip it now. If the president would have attacked her, you think ESPN would have came to her aid?
Oh, man.
Let's just look at it. Let's look at it that way. How many times multinational corporations have came to the aid of the people that are out doing the weather and speaking to people? I saw hurricanes ripping through Florida. This little Chinese lady almost got blown away. I said, I wonder if she got insurance, hurricane insurance, from Geico or somebody, because her little ass was about to get blown away. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I wonder if the news people would have came to her aid, the Weather Channel, and the rest of these people. So we have to look at it both ways, Brother Rich. And I'm glad you made it personal, because if you're promoting and you're representing Serious Minds RNTV, no, I don't really care about your personal opinion. This is what we discussed in the boardroom. This is what we discussed in the briefing, in the meeting earlier. And no, I don't want any of y'all talking about and calling the president out, not on Serious Minds RNTV. Now, that's a policy of ours. Shit, go handle your business. Make it happen. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sound as raw as you want to sound. And I'm not saying what the sister said wasn't the truth. It was the absolute truth. And I would defend her. Just not on ESPN time. Guess what happened to me on Public Enemy's time? They threw my ass out the group for telling the truth. The bold truth. A truth right now that people openly talk about on YouTube. Writing books about it, making YouTube clips about it. But I got punished for it. Which everybody knew that I was telling the truth. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but we had to wait 20-something years later? Come on, man. It's like, wow, for real? I got you. I knew that then. You understand what I'm saying? And I keep forgetting these young cats nowadays keep mistaking me for somebody their age. Brothers and sisters, I'm not 37. I'm 57. I've been here. I've been around the block a few times. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. But that's just my take on it, Brother Rich. I'll support the sister to the hilt. You understand what I'm saying? And just not on ESPN's time. If you're gonna take the job, fill out the application, take the job, get hired, sign on the dotted line, and there's some laws and some bylaws, some rules and regulations that ESPN has, and she should follow them if she want to keep her job. If she don't want the job, hand in your resignation letter and then go make political statements then. Plain and simple. I'm not trying to sound like a spokesman for ESPN, but I'm just giving it to you raw. Plain and simple. Can I say anything? You and I have some beef. Slightly. I can't say anything on your show, right or wrong. Yeah. As soon as in this show and hang up, you ask me, come say, hey, listen, I think I might want to cut that out. Which I have to humble myself and respect you because this is your show, not mine. Right? Yeah. And a couple of times, I'm not putting you on the spot, but a couple of times we had to do that because strategically, you said, listen, I think it would be better if we did A, B, and C. Am I right or wrong? That's just being mature, and that's being smart. That's all.
Indeed.
We don't want to draw no unnecessary attention to us. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Griff, so let's say, it doesn't work it doesn't work out with Jay-Z and another artist takes the bait. Let's just say not nothing personal against him, but let's say LL Cool J or something like that. He has a huge catalog of hits and the NFL wants him to perform and he's going to bring special guests and everything on. Should the community respond by saying he's a sellout because Jay didn't do it and he's doing it? Or is that man's personal decision and we should respect that? What do you think about somebody who doesn't take the bait? They're like, no, I'm not going to do it. The next person comes along and says, because this is what happens. They say, well, shit, if I don't do it, somebody going to do it. If I don't sell the drugs, somebody going to sell the drugs to these crackheads out here. So that's always a reason for to justify a person making their decision. So should we be mad at that person, or should we just respect, for example, LL Cool J for deciding to do what Jay-Z did not do, theoretically?
Well, if the decision was made tomorrow and they announced that LL Cool J was going to perform at the Super Bowl, I think those of us that follow his career should kind of look at how political is this particular individual and what should we expect from him. And should he align himself with that thinking, that vibration, that spirit? Hey, that political party, that stance. What was his stance about Colin Kaepernick prior to getting asked to do the NFL thing? So we have to kind of look at it. We can't just write the brother off.
Right. Okay.
And make premature judgments. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I thought? Not to dwell on the LL Cool J question, but you know what I thought would be really gangster? If Jay-Z turned around and said, you know something? Yeah, I'll do it. And bring Colin Kaepernick with him. And both of them at the end of the performance kneel on one knee. I thought that would be gangster. Or if LL did it, invite Jay-Z to come on and bring Colin Kaepernick. You understand what I'm saying? If any of these people, you know something? What's the terminology? I'm trying to pull it to my. What is the term I want to use? I liken it to Arsenio Hall bringing on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Right. That's a good
he
point.
Said, y'all been calling me a coon and sellout. Y'all think I be buck dancing for white people. My last show, guess who I'm going to bring on? You understand? That changed everybody's perception and perspective on that brother, man. You understand what I'm saying? But, wow. You seen the movie, the last Planet of the Apes movie that came out?
Yeah.
You know the sellout gorilla? There was two of them, a black one and a white one. The white one straight and choked his ass to death.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of the movie, he had a sense of duty. You understand what I'm saying? And turned on the ones that turned him into an Uncle Tom ape. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, ape. He turned him into an Uncle Tom ape. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, he got him back and turned the guns on them. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there may come a time in LL Cool J's life, or Jay-Z's life, or some of these other people's lives that say, you know something? I'd have made my millions. You understand what I'm saying? I've been taking people's money. I've been making these songs that kind of kept the people in a certain mindset and kept them in the hood. Man, let me do right by my people. Let me demonstrate to the world that this brother is bold enough to take a stand and sacrifice millions. I'm going to stand with him. We ain't asking you to go on the field, on the sideline, and kneel Jay-Z or LL or any of y'all. But it comes a time in every man's life that they got to say, sooner or later, you're going to have to take a stand, plain and simple. Plain and simple, man. Regardless of what it costs. You know what it cost me? Making the bold statements I made. You understand what I'm saying? So I need people to understand that. I mean, I don't have the life LL and Jay-Z have. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the millions that they have. I just said from the outstart, from the beginning, from the rip, from the door. I'm speaking my mind. I'm on this mission to raise the conscience level of our people, and I'm speaking truth to power. That was what Public Enemy was about. Plain and simple. So I'm coming out the gate with this. After all of these years of seeing black people struggle in America, I'm sure the LLs and the Jay-Z's and the Kanye Wests and the rest of them that are out there see that we need them now more than ever. That's just my take on it, man. Plain and simple. They may come back and say, man, everybody's name you mentioned, you don't talk about. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I see some of these people, and I wouldn't mind having a conversation with them face to face, and I would say to them, yeah, I probably mentioned y'all's names in a few interviews, in a few lectures, but tell me where I'm wrong.
Exactly. Right.
Tell me where I'm wrong, and you can check me on it, pull my coat, plain and simple. And I'm open to it. I'm not beyond reproach, even by them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's real. But check this out, brothers. Can I approach them and have a conversation? They can approach me. They can call me. But can I approach them without bodyguards and manager and press people and the PR person? No. You know that will never happen. Can I openly talk to them and interview them like you're interviewing me now, and openly ask them about certain things, politically speaking, consciously speaking? Can I have a conversation with Jay-Z and ask him, what really happened in the elevator, bro? What was that about? You know what I'm saying? Can I do that? Well, can I openly ask some of these questions that I think people just truly, really want to know? Yeah. Are you responsible for opening the gateway and the doorway into bringing Russians into Brooklyn? You understand what I'm saying? And just buying up the real estate and having black people kind of, there's a whole bunch of questions I think is on people's mind that they would like somebody to be bold enough to ask LL Cool J, Jay-Z, and some other people, man. Yeah. I mean, without having a negative conversation or interview or whatever, or trying to beat them up, or trying to sound intelligent and making them look stupid. Minus all of that.
Do you think, Professor Griff, it's ever too late in your life to be socially aware and to talk that pro-black stuff? Like, some people feel as though Jay-Z had his whole 20s, his whole 30s, and even his early 40s to talk about things that affected his community, but he waited so long, whereas though it doesn't have the same impact, so people don't take his message or his actions as serious as they should. I mean, after you reach a certain age, is it pretty much, should we not even pay attention to somebody if they want to be socially? Is that fair to Jay-Z, Professor Griff, that some people just saying, man, this dude waited till he's 45 to be pro this or pro that or socially aware? Man, I ain't trying to hear that. Is that fair to that brother as a evolving human, Professor Griff?
No, I don't think it's fair. But Jay-Z is a special case because Jaz-O was there, and I know he was affected by that, brother. I know he was affected. Jay-Z was affected by the supreme wisdom of the 5% nation of gods and earths. I know Jay-Z was affected by that. I know Jay-Z was affected by certain movements and certain things that I know Jay-Z watched his wife do that stellar performance at the Super Bowl. I know he know. You understand what I'm saying? But I'd be a hypocrite to hold that over Jay-Z's head. Because I always say every blade of grass don't grow at the same rate of speed. Am I right?
Right.
We don't know where he's at in his growth. A lot of people saw the signs of his growth in his last project, which I saw it. You understand what I'm saying? So we can't judge the man. Maybe he's growing, but slower than a lot of people would like. But that's his growth, not ours. You understand what I'm saying? We can't tell that man how fast to grow and what decisions to make. He's in a volatile situation. You don't want Kanye talking about his family, and you don't want nobody talking about your family. They talk about me, my wife, and us every damn day, ever since we got married. That's personal to us. So we don't know where he's at in growth. But we just have to respect the fact that the man is growing. You understand what I'm saying? He could have went and made a different kind of album. He could have accepted the NFL invitation and went ahead with some more foolishness, but he chose not to. Can we back up for a minute and let the man breathe and let him grow at his own pace? I'm not his defense attorney, but I'm saying and not running the risk of not sounding like a sellout. I have to be respectful at everybody's growth, yours included. You started out with a little cheap camera up on 125th Street. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Okay, I respect the joke, Griff, and I'll rock with you, right or wrong.
Indeed.
Okay, give thanks. So much so that I saw your growth, and I said, listen, man, I practically want to give you this equipment. Here you go, man. I want to see you grow because I see what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think that's real. We don't know what Jay-Z may do next year. You understand what I'm saying? Some people were saying that about Eddie Murphy some years and years and years and years ago. But I've witnessed Eddie Murphy doing some charitable things that he just don't want the whole world to know.
Right.
And that's just real. Take Harry Belafonte, for example. Is it too late for him? Some of the brothers that do a marvelous work in the black community have white wives. Do we dismiss them? You understand what I'm saying? I see one football player in Boston, Massachusetts, raising $30 million. Tim Duncan and other people raising money for the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean islands. So I'm saying, no, it's never too late to answer your question directly. You know, you could be on your deathbed, and somebody can hand you a pen, and you can sign $1 million damn check to Underground Railroad. You understand what I'm saying? So it's never too late. We don't know what's in Jay-Z's will. We don't know what he has in store. And that's just real talking and being real. And I hope people, in turn, will look at aspects of my life and see growth. I'm not the same individual that I used to be last year. You understand what I'm saying? This conversation would have been totally different last year.
That's real.
For real. Yeah, you don't. When you get older, you don't get softer. You get wiser. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think we need to stop this whole idea to feel that we have to get on interviews like this and constantly beat up on people that's not doing what we think that they should do with their own goddamn money. You understand what I'm saying? That man has a family and a family to protect. He has a brand to protect. If he says, nope, I don't want to do the Super Bowl, and here are my reasons, I think what Colin Kaepernick is doing on a political tip is righteous to me. He's not bothering anyone. He's just kneeling in a silent protest. You understand what I'm saying? You say we have the freedom of speech. You know, I've seen other people protest. I've seen white protests recently where they came out with guns and no arrest. Shouting at police, pushing on police, no arrest. Like, wow, the man can't come and kneel? Stop that, man. Stop that. Yeah. I think, personally speaking, and you can quote me on this, I think Colin Kaepernick posed a threat to a lot of the white quarterbacks who want to go out in a blaze of glory. Because I don't know if you've seen his highlight reel. Have you?
No, I have not. No, I don't watch football.
Sharp, man. But just studying his protest led me to his highlight reel. I was like, oh, this may be the reason. The man can throw, he can run. He can run and throw. He's a thinking quarterback. See, that poses a threat to all of the white quarterbacks. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the only position now that white folks try to keep it white. Because other than the coach, quarterback kind of runs the thing. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
We know the dude upstairs in the window and the general manager and all them other people. We already know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on the field. You understand what I'm saying? His athleticism is off the chain. There's some foolish cooning Negroes that wanted to talk about his hair. Not his athleticism, but his hair? Come on, man. Come on. And we have to end this answer to that question by saying this about Colin Kaepernick. Don't you think that he knew what he was up against when he took to one knee to protest? I'm sure he thought this out. Some people ask the question. I think it was Black Doctor asked the question. So what? What if he gets on the team tomorrow? Then what?
Right, right.
Do we win? Like, what happens after that?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, until there's some teams that's owned by black people and other people, I think then and only then do we win. But even if we don't, that's sports, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That ain't feeding 30 to 60 million black people. Trust me. So, yeah, that's just my take on that, man.
Well, I got one more question for you, Professor Griff. In a capitalistic society, do you think people turning down money could ever be the norm? Like when you see if Jay turned down the Super Bowl or Kaepernick turned down a certain amount of money because he feels as though it jeopardizes his integrity, can that ever become popular? Like we know certain people do it. You have done it. Other people have done it. But do you ever see that being popular in a capitalistic society, Professor Griff?
You know, we have to understand something, Brother Rich. Someone's loyalty to, I was just reading it tonight. Me and Soleil was going over the lessons. And the lesson said he likes the devil because the devil gives him nothing. We tend to defend things that don't even have our future in mind. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So, no, there's no assurance that this system of racism, white supremacy is giving any of us that we would even be here in the next 10 years. But we seem to speak from a position that defends the very same people that's trying to murder us. And I think that's sad. What if and this is just my question to the people that's listening, what if they change the medium of exchange? Right now, it's slowly changing. They're taking money. It's going to be a cashless society in a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to do away and battle with the Bitcoin.
Right.
This digital currency that they're moving into place right now. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if you take a flight, Delta and some other people, they don't even accept cash anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a cashless society. Then what? Because you've seen the movie by Justin Timberlake. When, I think it was called Time Out. What was the name of his movie when it dealt with time?
I forget the name. I know what you're talking about, though.
But the currency at that time was time.
Time, yeah.
What if the medium of exchange changed, Brother Rich? What if all you had was time and the natural resource was air? Or the natural resource was water? You understand what I'm saying? Would you give up some of your time to see that your people go free? Would you give up some of your water to see that the people go free? These hurricanes coming through showed and proved one thing to me as me and my wife and family sat in the goddamn dark. It showed and proved to us that we need one another more than we think we do, man. You understand what I'm saying? The whole island of Puerto Rico is in the dark right now, man. Do you think, regardless of what we think of Puerto Rico, do you think they need us right now?
No.
Now is not the time.
No.
Now is not the time to debate on whether or not the Puerto Rican people are white, black, are they Spanish, are they were they coming from slaves, and they mixed with black people? Man, say that shit to somebody else. They need help right now.
Yeah, help. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we need to understand that particular dynamic. Is that, to answer your question directly, will it become the norm? Absolutely not, Brother Rich, because brothers like us, we don't live above our means. If you and I had $1 million right now, of course we would secure our family. We would secure ourselves and our family. But I just don't want to live large like that. You understand what I'm saying? I think I would focus in and invest in, of course, water. I think I would invest in education for those that can't afford it. You understand what I'm saying? I think I would do some things that probably wouldn't even surprise people where I would put my money because they know Professor Griff. And I just think that's very real also think that most of us, I'm saying most of us, and I'm going out on a limb with this, most of us, if we got $1 million tomorrow, car, jewelry, a house, and we would definitely work our way around to the strip club and come on back home. Most men. Food, hanging out, we get those things out of our system. You understand what I'm saying? And then $100,000 later, yeah, after the couple of cars and some other stuff, because we have to continue to feed that grown male instead of doing what grown men do. And there is a difference between grown males and grown men. You understand what I'm saying? All this talk about financial and economic security and all this kind of stuff, yeah, them thoughts go right out the window with most of us if we got $1 million tomorrow. We would think about, first of all, we would take half that and dump it right back into the system of racism and white supremacy. And that's just written. Until we're educated on what to do with money, we don't know how to handle it. So to turn money down for a cause, Brother Rich, please listen to me. Most of us won't even show up at the lecture because it costs $20. Most of us won't even sacrifice a train ride, some Uber fare, to come to a lecture or to buy a DVD or to support on somebody's Patreon page. You understand what I'm saying? So to ask someone to sacrifice on a grandiose scale, like turning down a Super Bowl or kneeling on one knee for a cause and you losing millions of dollars in the rest of your career, yeah, not too many people are doing that. So you're right. At the top of this talk, you said we have to honor that brother and take our hats off to that brother, man. Plain and simple. He did, pardon me, he is doing what John Carlos and Tommy Smith did at the 1968 Olympics by putting their black power signs in the air. And they were stripped of their medals, right or wrong. So hats off to that brother, man.
Leave your contact info and let the people know what you got coming up, Griff, so they could get in touch with you.
Oh, okay. People can reach me directly at 678-557-2919, or they can just go to my website, www.professorgriff.me, or my Facebook page at Karan Shah /Professor Griff, or the Serious Minds group page. Please join. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, Serious Minds RN TV. But I will be in the ATL this Saturday at the Helpful Essence Cafe on the west end of Atlanta at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be talking about the signs of the time. And then after that, next week, I'm going to be in Baltimore at the Terror Cafe with Brother Darren Muhammad. And I'm going to continue that conversation dealing with the signs of the time. And then the next week after that, I'm going to be at the Locks Conference, man. In Philly.
Okay.
Locks Conference every single year. I get together with the brothers and sisters in Philly to do the Locks Conference. I'm doing it this year with Dr. Wesley Muhammad, man. My lecture is just hardcore. I'm talking about deconstructing the religious mind fuck, and I'm not holding back. Anyway, the day before that, I'm going to be in Louisville. Kentucky at the Muhammad Ali sports complex there in Louisville, Kentucky on the, I believe it's on the 7th. Yeah, and then I'm coming back to Philly on the 29th, and I'm doing Atlanta. Of course, you know the brother. What's the brother name? Rick Mathis, man. He's releasing his film.
Okay.
Black Friday.
Okay.
I think it might be the remix or the next one he's doing. And I'm gonna be with that brother, and then Professor Smalls is speaking in Atlanta on the 14th. I'm gonna be with him all in the same day. You understand what I'm saying? As we move and work towards the Black Power Awards on the I believe it's the 13th through the 15th of November. I definitely got to give a shout out to all of the brothers and sisters in Charlotte, North Carolina, that came out to the history of hip hop as told by two Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artists, myself, Professor Griff, and Terminator X. It was beautiful, man.
Man. That's what's up.
Really beautiful. Our next stop is in Detroit, man, on November, I believe it's the 18th, man, in the D in Detroit. So we definitely got to make it happen, man. Definitely. That's it, brother. People can just reach me directly at 678-557-2919.
Okay, man. So definitely shout out Terminator X, man. I know y'all got something powerful going on with that, man. So I definitely want everybody to check y'all out. And
Okay, thanks.
yeah, I'll leave the information on in the description bar. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad, Professor Griff, Serious Mind. We signing out, family. We gonna see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace, family. This is Brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of a dollar. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figured since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for 1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.